They say these teams can beat a BTK. That's the narrative every single time. You're gonna go into MOBA Zane's chat when he is kind of streaming, and they're gonna be like, "MOBA Singh, the pride of India." But guess what? The next line's gonna be BTK. India can beat it. Yeah, and I think unfortunately India did get that slot. We were kind of hoping for it. Just got announced today. It was 2 slots to Mekong, but guess what, guys? MSC is right around the corner. So, and teams are definitely gearing up for it, and they're preparing for it. But also, people have said, I don't know. I think Coach G, right? Coach G, one of the pioneers of coaching from MPL Philippines. He's got like what? He won the MSC with RSG Philippines a long time ago. I got him on one of my streams to say what, like, check out a game. Like, do you think India's got the potential? He's like, yeah, India's got the potential. It seems like they just need the right kind of guidance, and that's the more important part. So now looking at how everything is going around and how the region is growing, that we're getting a little bit of a highlight, of course, from you being here. Thank you once again. And a lot of teams got to get to that level to say that we are one of the best, but people have already started comparing some of the top Indian teams. The top 2 teams we're actually going to be watching today, they already started comparing them to say like I wouldn't want to say MPL, but like lower tier MPL teams, or like MDL teams, and even NACT teams. Like, for example, this is the big one they always pull out, right? I can't wait for Trex to show up, and we're gonna ask him about this. They say these teams can beat a BTK. That's the narrative every single time. You're gonna go into MOBA Zane's chat when he is kind of streaming, and they're gonna be like, "MOBA Singh, the pride of India." But guess what? The next line's gonna be BTK. India can beat it. This team can beat it. Like, say for ABM is better than them. IGN is better than them. One of the other teams that we will be watching later on, like later in the streams to come, is Evil Esports. They've kind of made a name and fan base for themselves as well, like as one of the top global teams a long time ago, and the global leaderboard at least. And like they always say this narrative, like we're better than them. But I always tell people like, hey guys, we're not there at that level yet, just because we haven't showed it. Like, we haven't showcased it. We haven't gotten toe-to-toe against them. And, of course, there are scrim results with T2K and C9 back in MSC. I kind of don't want to say it out loud. Might hurt some people's feelings. But, just going to show, you think we're at that level yet? Or at least you think we can get there to a certain extent. I know you haven't seen today's game yet, but you did watch a couple of the streams before to see how it was.
Yeah.
I know I don't want to get ahead of myself, but what do you think? Can we get there? Of course, can we get there? Yes, we can. But how long do you think it would take for us to get there, kind of?
Oh, that's too difficult to say. That's a loaded question, right? Because no matter what, it's gonna be a losing situation for me, and Clippers are just gonna farm it for years. So, the safe answer, I would say that in like 5 years' time, that you guys are going to be at the peak height of Mobile Legends, assuming that everything kind of like collides together perfectly with the developers and everybody to send along that slot in the team to see that there is a market here in India, right? I think that would be like the safe way to kind of go about it. But the problem is that nobody is, well, I wouldn't say nobody. This would discredit the people who are actually trying. I feel that most people, and especially with the general populace, don't understand what it takes to be part of the 0.1% of people in anything, right? Whether it be like in chess, which again, you guys are absolutely crushing it. You guys have like 12-year-olds at Grandmaster, which is crazy. Yeah. So it wouldn't make sense that you guys can't get good at. Yeah, it means that you guys can't, like, it's sorry, not can't, but you're capable of actually picking up this skill and getting a very good results with it. I think that when it comes down to esports especially, the problem with it is that majority of the people, especially for those you considered like the idols within any game, right? The fakers of this world, that's what I'm talking about. The people who have made a name for or what they are capable of doing. People don't understand, to get to that level comes at great personal sacrifice. And I think that a majority of people, especially those within Southeast Asia, we already live hard lives as it is, right? So this is our way of spending time. And eventually, if you put a lot of time into one thing, you get pretty good at it, right? But then there's that extra layer that you have to do. Now I want to go professional. Now how do I prove myself being so good at this game that I'm that people think that I'm worth investing in, and people think that I want to be on their team and I'm willing to pay money for it. That's the next problem. And then once you've conquered that problem, immediately the next problem is, how do I beat these other players who get paid to play the game to do exactly what you're doing but better? And it's an ever-going cycle. And I personally think that right now, as India picks it up, and yes, they are very, very young, you're depending on the next generation of gamers to get you there. You can't depend on previous esports athletes to kind of take that slot and teach the next generation and then continuously fold and fold to get better and better results down the road. And I think that's where you know, India is currently lacking. They don't have that previous generation of mobile players to help the current new generation.